Oh, you caught me mid-dance. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Collider TV Talk. We're here every single day. You're like, wait, it's Tuesday. I just watched Movie Talk. Yeah, well, we're here every day now, post-Movie Talk, talking all things TV every day, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Josh Macuga, your humble host here every single day, or at least the days that they let me do it. Joined today on a healthy Tuesday for her first ever Collider TV Talk, Grace Hancock.
Oh, yay! Thank you for having me. I'm super pumped.
Yes.
Woo!
So joining us as usual on my companion in all things television. If TV was a church, we would go there together and worship under the guise of bunny ears or a DVR. It's David Griffin, Sir Blazer of Griffin, right there. Look at him.
Yeah. Thank you.
Were you confused by my religious overtones?
I was like, wait, where are we going with this? But yeah, it's great. I mean, it's daily TV talk. We have a rotating cast of characters.
Yes.
Emma will be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, all things anime, of course. I'm
Yes.
here today, all things British. So,
Correct.
I mean, if you're a fan of British television, you're in for a treat. Actually,
Yes.
I don't think we're really covering much British TV. I'm sorry.
When David is here, I'm sure we'll mention enough British TV to keep this thing
There
going.
will be Poldark references.
Oh,
there
many...
are some actors that I can mention today. Yes.
Oh, good.
So we've got a lot to talk about today. We teased it yesterday. At the end of the show, we're going to break down all of Ozark season 1. We're going to break down Last Chance U, which season 2, which I thought was unbelievable. But we're going to do some news first. So Grace, what's up first?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this. We're going to get it started with the new Mindhunters trailer that just dropped this morning. This is David Fincher's new Netflix show that's going to be coming out very soon on Friday, October 13th. I loved it.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
This trailer.
Your favorite day.
I'm scared of the calendar. That's how scared of things I am.
When the month of October
I'm going to make you do
comes
that
around,
a new
Josh,
VR
like,
thing just on Friday the 13th.
October is the worst month of the year. One,
No!
it gets a little colder on the East Coast. You lose summer. It gets a little depressed. The leaves start changing colors. It's hideous. Then they start
beautiful.
falling off. The only thing good about October is that there is football. Okay? That's the only thing
Well,
good.
no.
Everything else, people go to haunted houses. They like pumpkins. And Netflix has the gall to not only release Stranger Things, but this Mindhunter show, which looks like when we were first talking about this, because we talked about this on TV Talk a while back when they announced it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea, because I thought it was a docuseries. But now it's an actual drama, and it looks creepy.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love Fincher. David Fincher doesn't know this, but he is going to be the Scorsese to my Leo someday.
Oh.
So pretty much he can do no wrong.
Sure.
David, what were your thoughts?
It's terrifying because these are people that are real. I mean, the mind of the serial killer. It's like if you watch like Hannibal, yeah, it can be based off real life instances, but it's like it's fantastical. It's like super over the top.
Sure.
But this is grounded in reality. I mean, you hear the term of the trailer being used, serial killer. It's like serial killer. It's like. We're trying it out. It's our new word.
It was sort of like when people came up
He's
with
kind of like
Bay.
penning the term.
Yeah, when they came up with like Bay, everybody was like, whoa, Bay.
Yeah.
And now serial killer. This is what they came
those
up with.
Those are the two best ones that we have. We have serial killer and then Bay.
And then Bay.
Hopefully you don't have a Bay who's a serial
killer. But I mean,
killer.
and it has that guy. That's one of those actors who's like, that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
Oh.
Like, he's just like an everyman. Well, not an everyman. He's a very handsome guy, but he's got that look. I'm like, yeah, that guy.
He's
but
like a
been,
serious Matt Bomer.
He's been in a ton.
Yes.
He works. He
He's
gets a lot
great.
of
Yeah,
work.
he's a big Broadway guy. I'm a big fan. I actually saw him live with Alfred Molina do Red about Rothko, which was really cool.
Wow. Haven't seen a stage play since 2003.
Oh.
When I left New York.
You didn't see Wicked?
Got real quiet.
I saw that in 2003. That was my last stage play that I ever went in. Yeah.
Wicked was fantastic.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the...
Speaking of things Josh doesn't like. Yeah, speaking of things he doesn't like,
Nor should you.
But Mindhunter, Fincher coming to television, huge. This is a big thing for Netflix leading up. And Netflix, up until, listen, Netflix, I think, has the best odds in TV right now. I think they're like 1 for 4. Like every series that they release is like 1. I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. Glow, amazing. Then I watched a couple that I didn't love. And then Ozark, Last Chance U. They have these flagships, and they release so much content that it's like.
Well, they just released. I mean, they have $20 billion in debt. I mean, but that's their model. I mean, you gotta.
David coming in hot with that rain
Sounds like
on that
me after a
parade.
weekend in Vegas.
Yeah,
just
$20
like
billion in debt. So they're
in
trying to make all these big shows. But unlike HBO, which HBO is very slow. Yeah. It's like drama, 2 comedies every 3 or 4 months.
They take their time. They take a lot of time.
Netflix is like 3-4 comedies a month, 3 new dramas a month.
Yeah,
boom,
it
boom,
can get
boom,
a little
boom,
overwhelming.
Boom. A little overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
let's go ahead and move along. So we're going to go on to the Comrade Detective trailer.
Yes.
This is a very high concept spoof. I have mixed feelings about this. I will definitely be checking this out, if for nothing else than the factor of just what the what.
Yep.
What did you guys think?
I don't know,
David.
man. I mean,
Oh, come on.
I mean, the show behind the show looks like the show I want to watch is the real show taking place without
The Romanian
Channing
show.
Tatum. Yeah, I want to watch the Romanian show. I don't know if I need to hear Channing Tatum's
So
voiceover.
you want nothing to do with this series?
I mean, I like Channing Tatum. These guys are funny.
Channing
but
Tatum is
he's
America.
so
Is an American treasure.
His wife
agree
hosted
with
the
that.
Outlander panel. She was great.
Oh, so now
She's
that's why you
great.
like
She's
Channing
great.
Tatum?
Step up.
Well,
Just because she hosted the Outlander panel?
Yeah, and I like him.
I
No.
love Outlander,
I
and
think
I
he's
love
a good.
Channing
He's a
Tatum.
funny guy. I thought he was great in Hail Caesar. I like Channing Tatum, but this looks a little silly, a little
Not-
too silly.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
this is my problem with animation is I don't like as an actor, and if I'm tuning in, I want to see faces, I want to see actors, and I'm sure those guys are great. They're actual Romanian
You're
actors.
not like a Family Guy fan or a BoJack
I mean, I love
Horseman?
Family Guy, but it's like if I have the preference, like I will not watch them unless it's like I should watch them.
Yeah, those Romanian
like, I
guys
wanna
need
see
to
the
eat.
actors.
Like, let them eat. Give them a paycheck.
I'm sure that those Romanian guys are getting a piece of the action.
They are getting paid, yeah. of
You know,
course.
Comrade.
I'm sure they're not all just working for free. Yeah,
Yes.
they're,
You
guys
they're
were, like,
getting
mumbling,
paid. There are union
Right.
rules.
For me, see, I always think, what can they do different? And everybody
Sure.
always asks us, why we didn't watch Suits? Why we didn't watch Psych? Why we didn't watch this show? Why don't we watch this? Why do we hate on those shows? We don't hate on them. It's just, I've owned a Honda Civic since 2005, and I love it. But would I like to own a different car? Sure, I would love to own a different car. But old trusty Civic is great. That's why NCIS is on TV for 20 straight
Right,
years.
and that's why here's
Yeah.
making fun of these shows like that come up with like magicians and solving crimes.
Yes.
Lucifer solves crimes because
Right.
doctor shows and cop shows work.
They
work.
They're proven to work. They're
procedurals
bankable.
work,
Procedurals
right?
work.
Honda
yeah.
Civics work. I want to see with my television, I want to see a BMW with a rocket pack and a missile launcher that plays the Cheers theme song as its horn. Like, I want to see.
So you love this trailer, is what you're
I
saying?
loved this trailer because this is something that is so. And only somebody like Channing Tatum or Joseph Gordon-Levitt could
Yeah.
bring this to TV and could bring it into a room and be like, guys, we're going to do voiceover over a Romanian
I know, because anybody
cop
else
show.
would get
They're like,
laughed out of the room, but then
Yeah.
we're just going, okay, all right.
it's Channing Tatum.
I'm listening.
So, with that being said, the names behind it, the people that are doing it, gets me really,
The budget
really
looks great.
excited.
I mean, the Romanian show that's actually going on looks really good.
Yes.
I want to see that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be your
I mean-
BMW strapped to a rocket. Just because you throw, some voiceover track. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
All
well,
right.
it's
I'm
going to
gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out.
It's going to be
Of course, I
6
have to.
episodes airing this Friday on August 4th.
Is this Friday?
It's this
Yeah, it's
fucking
this Friday.
Oh my god. We got Voltron to watch this Friday.
You got Voltron?
You're a very busy man.
Comrade Detective and Wet Hot American Summer.
See, I don't
Yeah. Okay, but we got to move on. So,
Yes.
the next piece of news is Hartley Sawyer has joined the Flash as the elongated man.
Who?
Hartley Sawyer.
Hartley Sawyer. You don't know Hartley Sawyer? Now, let me tell you a little story about Hartley Sawyer. Now,
he
Hartley
Southern?
What is
Hartley
happening? I love
Sawyer
it.
and my brother, they done come around the way one time. And I don't know.
He was actually born
was
in
so
he-
curious
he was
to see
actually
how
born
long
in
that
New
was
York.
gonna
He's
last.
from New York. He's from
But
Goshen,
doesn't the
New
name
York.
Hartley Sawyer kind of connotate?
does sound Southern.
Like
It sounds Southern.
the enemy to Ryan Gosling in Notebook. Like, isn't
Yeah,
that
like,
guy's
I feel
name
like Hartley Sawyer is a Mark Twain character
Yes.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the Mark
yeah,
Twain
yeah.
story. Yeah.
He's Tom Sawyer's brother.
Yeah.
The angry Hartley Sawyer. Here's the thing, and what I want to hit on this is Hartley Sawyer. He was in a show called Glory Days, which I thought was actually a pretty fun show. He's got credits, and it's fine. But I hope that Flash, which they have been notorious since day one of just announcing a name, bringing in for like an episode and be like, well, we got rid of him now. Give me some arcs in a season. If you're going to do 22 episodes, give me an 8-episode
Yeah,
elongated
they had
man
the time
arc.
to add some meat in there.
Yeah, no shit. And when they brought in Tom Felton last year, everybody's like, oh, Draco Malfoy's coming in. He's Harry Potter's enemy, da-da-da-da-da.
And he's also Cockney, apparently, in this world. of
Well, that's
John.
the only English accent I can do. I can do that and like Hugh Grant in Love
Tom
Actually.
Felton was working with what he was given. That's all he can do. The boy can only do so much.
Well, that's what I'm saying is they wasted Tom Felton and made him look just like a patsy. Like, I like Caitlin Snow. Does she like me? Oh, no, it's Captain Cold. Or what's her name?
It's like he's here in the room.
I
This
was telling you
impression
guys,
is just
when you hire
top
Tom
notch.
Felton, Draco Malfoy is too big for the Flash. That dude was in 8 Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
That dude deserves more. I like the Flash. I'm sorry.
I
He
agree with
deserves
that.
More. I'm sorry.
David, come on.
I like Tom Felton.
Tom Felton, 1, is not too big for the Flash. 2, What did they do with Tom Felton? What did they do?
He
with
was
him?
underused. Yeah,
he was underused
for sure.
And then what's her name now? Magenta Snow. What's the woman? Oh, Free. What is Caitlin Snow's name? What is her evil name?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the answer, and I'm sorry.
Wait, why am I blanking on this?
What is her name? Look in the comments on YouTube. Somebody's got to be yelling at us.
All right, well, what's your point?
What I'm saying is that, like, Killer Frost.
Killer
There
Frost,
we go.
yeah, Killer Frost, sorry.
That's how forgettable she
Sorry.
was as a person, is because, like, Tom Felton comes in, and he's like, I like Caitlin Snow. I'll help her not become Killer Frost. And they're like, yeah, good try, Tom. Check you later. Just like they did with Flashpoint. They're like, oh, you know, it'd be great Flashpoint. Ugh, work for an episode. Better get back to Iris and Barry's. Drama.
No, they do a good job most of the time, I think, of pulling in these guest stars. I hope that Hartley Sawyer, who I'm not familiar with, I hope that he's not underused. I hope they actually use him for an extended arc. The problem is budget. These shows shoot 23 episodes a season.
Sure.
They only have a couple million, 2-3 million per episode to shoot, which is a lot if you add up 22 episodes.
Yeah,
that's why it'd be better.
Super high budget.
That's why it'd be
episode.
better if they, did 13. They could put more money into each individual episode,
And
but
maybe give everybody a little bit
a little
more
more
meat,
time.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying,
Opposed to
yeah.
like, here I am, and then I'm gone.
I'm the elongated man. I'm heartless soil.
from New York.
From New York.
All right. Well, moving right along
I hope
from
he's Southern in the
Josh's
show.
I hope they make
impeccable.
him If he is Southern in the show, you
I
guys are
hope they
taking me to
do.
Panera
I
for
hope they
lunch.
make him
Just
Southern.
telling you.
I'll
I'll eat a
Elongated
burrito.
man.
I'll eat a burrito.
So let's talk about Preacher last night. Levitating pigs.
Levitating pigs.
Episode 7.
When pigs
A
fly.
sentence I didn't think I would use today, but here we
Yeah,
are.
when pigs fly.
When pigs fly.
It was more of a hover.
It was like a
It was
float.
like
a float.
It was like a short levitation.
It was like a balloon.
It was kind of like,
petite levitation.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
you
Yeah, it
will.
wasn't flying.
you know, when you were like a kid.
This is a weird
And
conversation.
you found a mouse in the woods and you would tie balloons into it until the mouse like floated away.
Wait,
Did you guys
no,
ever do
you
that?
did
So
that?
Josh
No,
was
I
a
saw
serial
that in
killer as a
Hartley
toddler.
Sawyer
Great.
episode of Little House on the Prairie.
Wow. A little glimpse into the Macuga childhood.
We lived by
I
the
mean-
woods.
I did too, but I went on hikes and would look for
You mean you
deer.
didn't bring mini
But I didn't
balloons
bring
with you to
balloons
tie
and
to
tie
little
them to
rodents?
mice and see if they would float.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, I think that's animal abuse. But
All
anyway.
right, well,
here comes the
so-
ASPCA after me.
So this episode was pretty great. This was a good episode. David?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
David
no, it
disagrees.
is. No, it's
like,
good. We got the backstory into this group, the guys that all wear the white suits. We know what their
Yes.
purpose is. They're there to protect the lineage of God, of Jesus, of course, and
Which had a very Da Vinci Code kind
Da Vinci
of.
Code. And they're
Yeah.
basically there to wipe out any false gods or false prophets. So that's their job. They go around all these anomalies that happen around the world, and people start worshiping them. They wipe them out.
Yes.
Really wipe them out. And the guy that's the leader, we learn how he became the leader. He is psychotic.
Yes.
Psychotic.
Right, yeah.
And
Cool
again-
backstory. It was a good backstory.
It was-
Like
it was a good
those
backstory.
piercings, though.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Joshy?
I've been there. The whole montage which they showed at the preacher panel at Comic-Con. So that whole montage.
Oh, they
of-
showed that scene.
They showed that whole scene,
Oh.
which again I watched again because I enjoyed it so much in the preacher thing. It still doesn't make a lot of sense to me that this band of the Grail, or what they call themselves, right, are protecting the lineage of Jesus Christ, are like finding people off Craigslist to basically come in and audition to be this main guy's right-hand man, and then they go with the most psychotic of people. It doesn't. It's funny. That scene was very, very, very funny, and it was cool, and it
Yeah.
fits within the framework of Preacher being this insane television show, right? But it doesn't make a lot of sense as far as what is the Grail is that's their like the guys asking about validating parking, so they're not even in
I
like a
know.
secure site, and
And they
That
don't
was a
validate
really
parking.
and they
weird-
don't validate
I know, I was
parking.
like so hung up on that. I was like, God, they don't validate. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, you
What a
know, they're
crappy
gonna-
job.
And he kills the guy.
where are the perks?
Yeah.
He kills the guy. They're killing people in there. It reminded me a lot of
But yeah, you have to believe in God.
yes.
So it's
Right.
kind of interesting. Yeah,
Or
they're
you have to say that you do.
say you believe in God.
Again, it
Yeah, that's
doesn't-
right. 'Cause
it doesn't make a ton of
I don't
sense
think
to
that
me.
guy's a believer.
It's almost like a
I mean,
Men in Black.
I got that vibe.
Yeah, you got that vibe. Yeah.
He was like, oh, I have to? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, oh, okay.
It's like,
Right.
oh, the God thing again.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny, it was entertaining. But again, and we mentioned it before we went on camera,
Yeah.
is you want to care more about Preacher. You really do.
I do, yeah.
And to be honest with you, Jesse Custer is I like him the least of anybody on the show. He doesn't have a ton of redeeming qualities. He's trying to be nice to Tulip, but not really. He's a jealous guy. He has a one-track mind. He's not He's not Mr. Redeemable. And when they showed his origin story a few episodes ago, it made him even less likable. And even when he was the preacher of the church, I didn't like him. So the fact that your main guy, and Dominic Cooper is an amazing actor. He was great as Howard Stark in Agent Carter.
Yeah, he's super talented.
He's also
Super
good in that
talented.
movie, The Devil's Double. He's playing the Hussein brother. I mean, he's just incredible.
Yeah,
He's really good.
Really
super
gifted.
talented actor. I honestly think that there are amazing points of this show. There are amazing parts. But as a whole, like you said before we went on, if they canceled Preacher right now, you'd be like, all right, one less show.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
to
sad.
I know,
I'd
every
be
time
sad
I
for
watch
people
it,
not
I-
having the jobs, but I think the sad,
Yes.
the hard
And
part
Ruth Nega's Rutabagas.
and Ruth Nega's Academy Award nominee.
mostly
I
the
mean,
Rutabagas.
They're all good. I mean,
She's Academy Award nominee, like you said.
And
Yeah, she's-
Joseph
oh my gosh,
Gilgun, who
she's
plays
great.
Cassidy.
Cassidy
incredible.
is if he wasn't in the show, if Cassidy wasn't in the show, I would almost not watch
Right.
it.
And Grace, you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier to steal a thought from you about all like the production value and how beautiful
Oh my
everything
God,
looks.
It's so well done, and my eyeballs love it. My brain and my heart are not there.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't care about
Am I
what's going on
describing a
inside
lot of
the
like failed
production.
relationships
Yeah.
with that metaphor?
Right, yeah, definitely. I will say real quick though, before we move on, the one thing about Preacher, and you may agree with me, is that there honestly doesn't seem like there's much stakes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, like in Game
Valid.
of Thrones, there always seems like there's stakes. Even in Fear the Walking Dead, there seems like there's
Leftovers.
stakes. Leftovers, there seemed like there were stakes.
Right.
In this one, you're like, they're not going to kill the preacher, and everybody's coming to kill the preacher. It's not going to happen. You can't kill Cassidy. It just doesn't seem like there's much stakes. So when they had death coming in, yes, those action scenes were incredible. They were killing everybody, but there just never seemed to be that ticking clock, that stakes that you need,
Yeah, I know
I
what
think,
you
in a
mean.
show.
I feel like I'm
this.
watching it more for the spectacle, which
Yeah.
can be fun. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. I mean, you
but-
never know what you're gonna get. It's kind of a mixed bag. You're like, whoa, okay.
Even
cool.
in a show like Mad Men, which is nothing like this. I'm just talking about AMC shows, right? Even a show like Mad Men has nothing to do. At least had stakes.
Yeah.
Felt like there were
Sure.
stakes in all the episodes.
Yeah, that's a
Breaking
great
Bad.
point.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad stakes.
I'm going to cut you guys off here.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in really quick, guys, because I forgot to say this at the top. Send me some Twitter questions to my Twitter. It's at Mrs. Graceface. And I'm going to hand this over to these two boys. I know you guys are dying to talk about Last Chance U.
Yes.
Season 2 full series recap. I know you guys loved this.
Also, hashtag
Thoughts?
Collider TV Talk when you send.
Oh,
it to
yes,
Mrs.
please.
Graceface.
I will not read them unless it has hashtag Collider TV Talk.
We gotta bump that. We gotta bump that hashtag up. We gotta bump
Gotta
that.
get it up. Gotta
hashtag
get that
Cool.
trending.
We gotta get that trending.
Yeah.
All right, David. Last Chance U season 2. I honestly didn't think I could like it more than season 1. I was bawling at the end of
Yeah.
this show. How'd you feel about this?
It's a great story. Like some people might be looking at this and be like, I don't like football, or maybe from another country. I don't like American football. But if you just like learning about a different group of people other than yourself, or maybe a group of people you do relate to, or learning about people coming together, people trying to overcome like the greatest of odds. I mean, this is such a fantastic show because you see most of these guys are coming from big Division I schools. So you have like guys from Florida State, from Georgia, who have messed up. They maybe got busted for weed, or they punched a girl at a bar, or stuff they shouldn't have done, but they want to change. Like these are guys that genuinely want to change and they want to do better, and they have to come to this new football program and try to get their last chance to get back to the top to hopefully go to the NFL.
Yeah.
And the show does it. It just shows everything, like
The problem-
from all aspects.
Yes.
And it's such a good show. Like you see stuff from the kids in the classroom with Miss Wagner.
Yeah.
You see stuff on the field, obviously, with the coach. You see them in Bible study. Like you see them in all aspects of life, and you see them when they go home to visit their families. And they're trying to overcome so much with so little support.
That's
and it's
the one
amazing
thing
how
you-
far they come.
It's the one thing you
incredible.
get from that
It's really
show.
moving.
Yeah.
The one thing you get from that show is that parents are very important, right? And what parents do for their kids, and how they lead, and how they shape their minds, and also how poor our education system is in some places in this country.
Yeah.
Because these kids are not taught to worry about school ever in their life. Their parents don't teach them that. The teachers in their other school don't teach them that. Their coaches, all they care about is winning football games, and they keep letting them slide year after year after year. And there was a really, really, there were some very depressing, eye-opening parts about this. And again, I mentioned it yesterday, but a very good friend, his name is Andrew Freed. He's one of the co-executive producers on the show. He also does Chef's Table. Very, very talented producer. Is that they really bring out what is the real problem in this show is that the football coaches couldn't care less about them personally, and all Miss Wagner does.
Except for the offensive coordinator.
Offensive
I like
coordinator,
him, yeah.
I love
he
him.
does a little Bible study on the side for the
Right.
kids. Guys, so it's like he teaches them how to be men.
But
which I think is important.
I thought the most poignant part of the show was when Miss Wagner goes to visit Ollie, who was from last season, and now he's playing at Nicholls State. And a buddy of mine played at Nicholls State,
Yeah,
which is
good
pretty
school,
cool.
yeah.
And
nice.
isn't that where Steve McNair went? Or you went to Alcorn State?
Alcorn, yeah,
Alcorn
yeah.
State, sorry. So Nicholls State, and they're talking about Buddy Stevens, the coach, and he goes, "Man, fuck that guy."
Yeah.
Because he is not a good guy. He's not a good person, and he tries. He's like, "I'm gonna try to be positive. I'm gonna try." And I'm like, "You listen. You can go to church all you want. It doesn't mean that Catholic priests still aren't touching kids, and that doesn't mean that man can go to as much Christianity as he wants. The shit that he did with poor Isaiah Wright, that boy, high ankle sprain." If you talk to Marquise Pouncey, the guy for the Steelers, he's high ankle sprain before the Super Bowl in 2012. He says his ankle still isn't the same from that ankle sprain. And you're telling me that a college kid, a sophomore in college, you're telling me get back on that field. You're not hurt. You're not hurt. The man is hurt. These kids are playing through concussions because they want to get to a next level. They want their life to be better, and you are ruining their lives for a fucking JUCO national championship. That man is not a good person. If you watch that and you came across as watching that and seen that man as a good person, you're wrong. That is a bad man. And Miss Wagner, she deserves everything. I'm sorry. I got really passionate about that. If I saw Buddy Stevens at a mall, I would punch that man in the face. I would come up and running double jump kick that man down a flight of stairs.
No, there was a really beautiful moment where I got emotional. Was this young man, I forgot his name. He wasn't one of the main guys that you see at the end and you see where he gets to go, but he was one of the guys who's in the episode enough. And he stopped and he said, "Look, Miss Wagner, you've done so much for us." And a lot of us, like, we didn't have this growing up. Like, we didn't have moms that, you know, kept after us for our schooling, or dads looked after us. He's like, if it wasn't for you, like, I would have never done this. Like, I never thought I could pass these classes. And because of Miss Wagner, you've done that for me. It's incredible.
And you need people like Miss Wagner in your life. If you watch this show and what you come away with it is like football is important, you're watching the wrong show. What you should be watching is these young men whose lives are totally determined by the outcome of football. And it's such a sad state of affairs that education isn't more prominent in their life. That, listen, football is a way to make money, but you can only play football so long.
Right, yeah.
And that JUCO team, if they're last chance you, 5 kids out of that team may make it to a D1 school or even D2 or D3. And of those kids, none of them may play in the NFL. So they're not even seeing money yet. It's a really tough thing to watch, and it's a really, I don't know, because I came from a family of 2 school teachers. So when I see that, I see like this was my parents' struggle every single day.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we see a season 3?
No, I don't think Coach Buddy will want him in again, because this season they were really targeting the cameras. Like, first season, the cameras were always there. They never seemed to get angry. But now they're like, get out of here. The cameras are here. I'm getting stressed out. There's always cameras. And he commented like on some like the camera guy was trying to get some like perspective shot with his hands. Like, oh, what do you want? Some art shot or something like that. Like, you could tell they weren't happy the cameras were there this year.
Apparently,
they exposed them.
Apparently, there's a story that they may go to the school that won the actual national championship this year. That school
That'd
in
be
Kansas.
cool. Yeah.
So seeing another program.
All right.
Great show.
I'm going to push this right along, and we're going to get into Ozark on Netflix, season 1 recap. I know that you guys were pretty big fans. I was a little, maybe not the biggest fan. What were your thoughts?
Did you watch
you
every
gave it a
episode?
I I watched almost every episode. You know what? I thought it was so well done. I had no idea Jason Bateman was directing almost the whole episode or the whole season.
Yeah, he did like at least four
One,
or five.
Yeah, he did like 4.
4 or 5.
9 and
yeah.
10.
He did
At
a
least
lot.
four,
Yeah,
like
he did a
half
bunch.
of the season.
But yeah, so he did like half the season. So I was very impressed. And this is totally true crime, my jam. It was dark, it was gritty, it was kind of like Fargo-y almost for me with like the kind of southern. But it was not what I was in the mood for right now. I don't know. It wasn't like a fresh enough take on this kind of story that we've seen for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Ozark.
That's a good point. I don't think the show does anything new.
Yeah,
But
like,
my favorite thing is
it's not that it was bad.
I
but
love
it's
the
just-
intro. Well,
Yeah.
they show every episode has this O, and there's
So
4
cool.
It's so
squares,
dope.
and it's like
so
these little
dope.
things that you're gonna see throughout the episode. So I pause it, and be like, okay, we're gonna see a stop sign, we're gonna see a pig, we're gonna see somebody hanging
This is
upside
the
down.
best
Like, it's just
mental
like
My
image.
favorite
like
one
David at
was-
home,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
okay.
The fourth quadrant of
as Rat. I don't know
Right,
why,
that's what I
but
do. Yep,
that's what I
do.
envision.
Yep. That's my voice too.
a prison fence, a pregnancy test,
Yeah.
rope, and electricity.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
Someone's
of
getting
really,
fried.
really
Someone
cool.
gets fried. Yes.
Getting fried. Yeah.
I will say though, spoiler alert. You guys want to throw up a spoiler up there? Thanks, Cody. Cody and Adam Smith. Cody
Ooh,
Hall
and
Smith.
David doing the sound effect.
Special.
Cody and Adam.
Cody,
my
crazy back there. You guys are
favorites.
crushing it. When that dude gets electrocuted, I won't say which dude, but when that dude and his brother get electrocuted, that is incredible CGI work. Incredible.
good, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, them melting.
They were crispy.
Oh, they were crispy.
Oh.
Extra
That was
crispy.
impressive. Here's the thing.
Crispy bacon.
We were texting about it, and I personally, I don't think I can say enough, like, go to watch this show because, yes, it wasn't a totally new take on it, but I do like that they talked about actual money laundering because It's like the scene in Office Space, money laundering, why using an intermediary going through, and they're like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know. Because money laundering, you actually have to be a financial genius like Jason Bateman, which is why I liked it, and you compared it to Breaking Bad. Why was Walter White the best? Because he made the best meth, which is like, kind of like, I'm the best prostitute.
What I always say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the best money man.
What I dug about this was that he basically started taking over a small town. It wasn't a major city, and people started around him, but he's a trustworthy sort of looking guy, but you saw that everything around him was sort of crumbling. It had a really amazing cast. Laura Linney.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. She can do no wrong ever.
She's incredible.
She's hot. She's just great.
She still looks good, yeah.
She still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of times TV does kids terribly.
Yeah.
There's 2 shows on TV right now that do it well. Americans and Ozark. Other than that, a lot of kids on TV are terrible. You might have one good brother and like a terrible sister, or like a bunch of whiny kids and like one decent kid.
Modern
but if we're
Family.
One
talking,
like really
Modern
cute but
Family's
really
good
obnoxious
kids, yeah.
little
like
girl.
they're fun. That's comedy. You can do kids in comedy, no problem. You're talking kids in drama.
Yeah,
Tough.
the kids were good in here. I liked them. I felt bad for the son. The son obviously just needed a friend.
Yes.
And he's trying to, I guess, learn about life the best way he can. He hates birds.
Yeah. Not a big
he
bird
loves
guy.
animals. Yeah, he wants to kill the birds, and he loves. And the way they purchase guns, because they're in Missouri, so obviously every state has different gun laws. It's crazy. Yeah. Watch the show. I don't want to spoil too much.
No, I don't want to spoil too much of it either. But I will say I was extremely pleased by it. I was honestly surprised, to be honest with you. I was surprised by it. I thought that because a lot of these most recent crime dramas on Netflix haven't been amazing, but this one I thought was fantastic. Feel free to disagree, but
I hope we get a season 2.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I hope we do too, because it ended in a way that season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we will.
The one thing I will say going out is that the show kept getting layers.
Yeah.
It didn't just stay at that one thing like, I'm just going to launder money, I'm just going to launder money, I'm just going to launder money. You saw how like dark and creepy and weird small town America can be.
Yeah.
Especially in a vacation town.
Oh, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
I used to live in like a vacation town in the summertime, and going back in the wintertime, I was like, aye. This is weird. Okay, let's,
right. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to a quitter question.
A quitter question?
A quitter question. We're going to go, I'm going to go with Grant at MK Songbird. He says, at Mrs. Graceface, what show was canceled too soon and deserves a final season? Like Hannibal on NBC and Utopia from Channel 4 in the UK. Hashtag Collider TV
People love
Talk.
Utopia, man.
So-
They love Utopia.
What were some
We've
shows you
talked
guys
about this a lot.
had too short? But recently.
Recently, I mean,
Oh, Home Fires.
okay.
Home Fires is a great show. I did a pick of the
What
week
channel's
a while
that on,
back.
David?
I believe it's a BBC show. Don't
sure,
quote me. It could be Channel 4, it could
definitely.
be ITV. I think it's a BBC show.
Okay.
It was canceled after 2 seasons, but it was excellent.
Okay.
Excellent show. Especially if you like the movie Dunkirk. They mentioned Dunkirk because of some of the boys coming home from Dunkirk. Very good.
Okay.
Joshy?
I feel like recently canceled too soon. I don't know if I have one. I feel like every show that gets
one that
canceled,
like hasn't officially
I'll
been picked up
always-
for another one.
I mean, well, hey, if Ozark hypothetically was canceled, that would
I would be
too soon.
really
I would
bummed
be
out.
upset about that.
Yeah, I'd be really bummed
I'd be
out.
upset.
yeah. I'll take that.
I mean, I'll always say Freaks and Geeks because there was one season of Perfect TV.
And of
that
course,
was
the
never
classic
renewed.
nerd thing to say is, of course, Firefly was
Yeah,
a great
of
first
course.
season. That was canceled too soon, but Josh
Yeah,
Whedon
yeah.
show.
Listen, I'm halfway through Sense8 right now, and I really love it. And the fact that they're just getting a movie and it was canceled a little too soon. I'm a fan of this Sense8. I know you didn't love it, but I'm a fan of this Sense8. So looking forward to talking about that with Emma Fife. Grace, thank you so much for everything today. What would
Absolutely.
you say was your series that was canceled too soon?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'd have to go with something too that's like, oh, I hope it gets another season. Like, I just recently binged the shit out of The Fall. And it's like, I know that a season 4 is kind of up in the air, and it kind of like petered the hell out for me. But if there was a season 4, I would absolutely be down. And to my knowledge, there has not been one.
That's what I keep hearing. I watched
I know the
through
creators
season
have, like,
2.
kind of-
I didn't watch 3, and people were saying that 3 was not as good as
It
season
was like
1
they were
and 2.
running to the finish line, and they were
Right.
like, "Oh shit, it's right there. We gotta." Oh, just
I wonder
a
if it's
nice
hard
little
because
job.
of you have
Like-
Gillian Anderson's schedule, and then Mr. Christian Grey himself, his schedule. I
Oh,
wonder if it's
God.
just kind of Christian Grey.
How dare you mention that name?
There it is.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go. I liked The Fall a lot. If you guys come back, I'll be watching it. Okay, so Joshy, pick of the day. We gotta wrap it up.
So we always do a pick of the week because on the weekly too, but we're going to do a pick of the day. There you go. It's a pick of the
Look at
day.
that neon.
Whoa!
All right.
Look at that.
Every day I'm just going to throw it out to you two. Whatever you want or whoever's on the panel. Pick of the day.
Pick of the day.
Favorite character on a show that nobody watches.
Wait, a show that nobody watches?
That is your little like your little piece of heaven?
Oh, Dr. Ennis from Poldark.
Dr. Ennis from Poldark.
He keeps people
There you
safe.
go.
He could take a better paying job, but he doesn't. He stays in the small town. That's admirable. That's a good man. He's not going to ER.
When your
working-
fists get bloody from punching flowers.
He's not working with George
you need a
Clooney.
doctor.
He's staying in a small town.
There you go. Grace.
Sorry, got a little passionate.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the man. Okay, maybe everybody does watch this, but like I know that when I love Superstore and NBC. Glenn, the manager of that store, is a fucking American hero. It is so funny.
Glenn from
and he's
Superstore.
so weird and fantastic. So I'm going with him.
Dr. Ennis on Poldark. Let's get the hell out of here. Dave, where can the good people find you on the internet?
Twitter and Instagram at GriffinDE.
Grace.
You
Hancock.
guys can find me everywhere on the internet at Mrs. Graceface.
I'm Josh Macuga at Josh Macuga. Twitter and Instagram, The Josh Macuga Show on YouTube. We love you guys. We'll be back here tomorrow, Wednesday. TV Talk. Put down the book. Pick up the remote.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.